Have you ever thought about living here?
I have indeed. In fact, every time I come here, I make an effort to meet new people. Having friends is very important to me, you see? But I don't want to move here until I can afford my own palazzo. So, until that day, I shall have to content myself with staying here wherever I can and as often as I can.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a journalist. Right now, I live in Hamburg because that's where the offices of Your Event magazine are. I do most of my writing for them. But I know far more about Venice than I do about Hamburg. In fact, I know more about Venice than most Venetians do. I know where the best souvenir stands are, the nicest glass shops. Here, I'll make you a list of the cheapest cafes.
No, that's okay. You don't need to do that.
You don't want to know where the cheapest cafes are? Are you sure you're American?
I'm just not into touristy things, that's all.
I see.
Oh, but you could tell me what your very favorite spot in Venice is. I'd love to know that.
Oh, well, let me think. That would have to be Campo San Paolo. There's something, I don't know, something very avant-garde about it that's quite charming.
Do you talk to Colin Baxter very much?
I try to talk to him, but he's so focused on his work. Having a decent conversation with him is virtually impossible. Once, out of politeness, I feigned an interest in what he was doing, and the next thing I knew...
He was showing you his test race slides.
Yes! They went on and on and on! It was nightmarish. I felt like a seabird that had landed in an oil slick and couldn't fly away. The only way I could escape was to confess that I found the slides less than fascinating, which hurt his feelings terribly, I'm afraid, but it couldn't be helped.
So you don't know much about him?
I know nothing about him at all. Actually, that's not quite true. Once, while he was working, his cell phone rang. He immediately left the room to take the call, but as he was leaving, he picked up by saying, "This is Justin." Not Colin, Justin.
He's using a fake name?
Either Justin or Colin. One of them's fake.
So what do you think about all this phantom thief stuff?
I probably shouldn't say this, but I think it's great. A caped figure darting down walkways beside moonlit canals, melting mist-like into the shadows, escaping not with stolen money, but stolen art. It's all just so wonderfully Venetian.
Have you written about it?
I'm working on a piece for Your Welt, yes. I tried to tell them I was here on holiday, but when they agreed to pay half my expenses in addition to my normal fee, how could I refuse? Besides, as far as crime sprees go, this one is rather refreshing. Il Fantasma hasn't physically hurt anyone, and has some very interesting ideas when it comes to what's worth stealing. In fact, it's altogether possible this phantom could turn out to be a woman. Whew! That would be a story I'd write for free.
So, have you dug up anything juicy for your story on this phantom thief person?
This case is so huge, the police are swamped. Apparently, they've got people coming in from all over the world to help track down leads. My contacts at the police station are too busy to give me the time of day, let alone a juicy tip. However, one of my non-police sources just told me something very interesting. He said the word on the street is that the next thing the thief steals is going to be a person.
He's going to kidnap someone?
A very wealthy someone. At least, that's the rumor.
I'll leave you to your writing.
It's been a pleasure. Pretty locket.
Thank you. My boyfriend gave it to me.
Boyfriend? You do have it all, don't you, Nancy Drew?
Did that. Check. All done. All done. Check. Did that. Check. All done. Did that. Check. Did that. Check. what this says in English. Wonder what this says in English. Looks like some cards are missing.
Calamari in vendita qui, sono da me, appena pescati.
Le gondole sono nere.
Per mettere in rilievo la pelle delicata e bianca delle
Ah, io pensavo che foste tu.
gosh, Fongo's coming back.
Vieni qui, piccioncino, vieni. Vola.
Wrong bird. Not that one. Nope. Gotcha. Hello? What kind of message is that? I'd better call Sophia.
Signora.
Nancy, you have tracked the pigeon.
After it left Fongo's, it flew to Campo Santa Margherita. It landed right next to this place called Casa dei Giochi.
Casa dei Giochi. You are sure?
Yeah? Is something wrong?
Casa dei Giochi is a private club owned by Enrico Tazza. The police suspect that he fences stolen goods for big criminals like Leo Macchiano. If Fongo is working for the Phantom, perhaps Tazza is working for him too. Look around the Casa dei Giochi, Nancy. Talk to Tazza if you can. Get on his good side. See how much you can find out without making him suspicious. Was the pigeon carrying a message?
Yes, but all it says is hello in English, followed by an exclamation point.
There is a dot at the bottom of this exclamation point.
Yeah?
You must find a microscope and examine this dot, Nancy. If Fongo was sending a message to Tazza, maybe it's hidden there.
A microdot, of course. I'll do that. I'll find a microscope and take a look at it.
If I do not hear from you, you will hear from me.
From the way you are dressed, you are American. Who are you?
My name is Nancy Drew.
This is a private club. You cannot come in, sorry.
Che ore sono?
Boh, non lo so, ho dimenticato l'orologio. Vania, tu ce l'hai?
Sì, ce l'ho, sono le 10:30.
Benissimo, allora andiamo. Vuoi venire a cena da me domani, Vania?
Looks like that's
Mi
it.
piacerebbe tanto.
C'è anche Giuseppe. Quale Giuseppe? Quello strano
Me lo
professore.
ricordo, sì, che carino.
If you're here for the dance audition, take a look at the dance instruction book. When you think you're ready, put the cat suit on and get on stage. If you're good enough, you can keep the suit and come by anytime you want and dance for tips. Oh, and if you're not here for the audition, beat it. Okay, let's see what you got. Nice. Nice. Wow. Not bad. Nice. Not bad. Wow. You're awful. I don't think so. Nice. Incredible. Oh, you need to tighten it up. Great job. Still some rough edges though, so take that costume home and practice. What's your name?
Nancy?
Nancy? Forget it. From now on, your name's, Punchy. Punchy LaRue.
But
Next!
I can't dance without my costume.
Vuoi stare al cinema, Vania?
No, assolutamente no.
È un bel film.
Ma non lo so, cioè non voglio.
Non hai tempo? Devi studiare?
No, devo studiare.
Va bene, alla prossima, ciao.
Another package?
And I want you both to know that I am very sorry if that American girl is bothering you. It was not my idea for her to stay here, believe you me.
Yikes, they're talking about me. I shouldn't listen.
She doesn't bother me.
Nor me. In fact, I rather like her.
But I'm going to anyway.
This is because she spends most of her time on the roof bothering me. She's always up there looking at buildings through binoculars. She says she wants to be an architect. Well, if she wants to learn about architecture, she's certainly come to the right city.
Which reminds me, the Restoration Council has finally responded to our plans for renovating the shower area. Would you rather get upset now or later?
Please, later, I just ate. Anyway, I apologize for the trouble she makes. If she bothers you, you tell me and I will tell her. Oh, she's fine.
She's quite fine, actually.
If you change your mind, you know where to find me.
Did that. Check. Check. I haven't done that. All done. This looks interesting.
Hello, Nancy.
Would it be okay if I used your microscope?
I have a very strict policy when it comes to my equipment. No one touches it but me. And now, you. I trust you, Nancy. Please, be my guest.
Oh, thank you.
Nancy, you have examined the microdot the pigeon was carrying?
I sure have. The message, which was written in English, said, Il Dottore requests you to change the safe room lock combination to 43556.
Il Dottore?
Yes, which is really interesting because in his office, Fongo has a poster of Commedia dell'arte masks. He's crossed out all but 5 of the masks, and among the ones that aren't crossed out are the Brighella mask.
The mask the Phantom wears.
Right, and the mask for Il Dottore wasn't crossed out either. And it was in the middle, like it was more important than the others. And when I went back to the place where I'm staying, a box of chocolates had just been delivered for someone named Il Dottore, which means it's very possible that Il Dottore is one of the people at the Ca' Nascosta.
Perhaps Fongo and the Phantom and whoever else they are working with are going by the names of Commedia dell'arte characters. This would make it easier to secretly communicate with each other. And if that's true, perhaps those chocolates are a message of some kind. And if Il Dottore was at the center of that poster you saw, perhaps the person the message was meant for is the ringleader.
Just what I was thinking.
Here is what we will do. I will have a technician hide tracking devices in objects these people are likely to carry around with them. Then, when we know which of them is Il Dottore, we will activate the appropriate device and be able to follow him.
Awesome. Let's see, Helena's always writing, so for her I could plant a bug in her pen maybe. And Margarita is always sunning herself, so you could hide a bug for her in a sunglasses case. But for Colin, you could bug a mosaic tile. You know, a tessera.
He is likely to carry a mosaic tile on his person?
If it's from me, he will. Long story.
This is good information, Nancy. I will have our technician prepare the 2 bugged objects and the device which you will hide in the pen, then leave them for you in the Banca dell'Oro ATM. You should give them to each person as soon as you get them.
Will do. Keep your fingers crossed.
My fingers are always crossed.
Interesting flavor.
Oh.
Ugh, I'm not feeling so good.
Nancy? Are you all right?
Oh my gosh! You're positively green! Nancy?
Ugh. Oh, I should so not have eaten those sausages.
Nancy, I've been worried about you. How are you feeling?
Much better. No thanks to you.
What do you mean?
Those sausages you left in my room gave me food poisoning.
What sausages? I didn't leave sausages in your room.
The note they came with said they were from you.
Well, someone else must have written it and signed my name, because I promise you, I did not leave any sausages or any note in your room. Besides, you don't think someone would give you tainted sausages on purpose, do you?
I guess it could have been just an accident.
Of course it was.
Do you live here at the Ca?
No, I have a room in a building on the other side of the Grand Canal, a very small room. But I spend so much time here and so little time there, I suppose technically I do live here.
Do you know who that box of chocolates in the entryway is for?
No, I didn't really look at it because I assumed it was for you. It's not?
No, it's for someone named Il Dottore.
Oh, I was afraid, I assumed they were from that locket fellow of yours. Il Dottore. Wonder who that could be.
What are you going to be for Carnivale this year?
Working, that's what I'm going to be. I haven't been invited to any festivities, which is just as well because I detest costumes. So to Carnivale, I say, bah humbug.
Does Margarita know that you went to prison in England for art theft?
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
You wouldn't lie to me, would you, Colin?
My real name is Justin Beaumont. 2 years ago, I removed a Renoir from the private collection of a man to whom it was nothing more than a financial investment. I took it home so it would be appreciated as the masterpiece it was. Its former owner took issue with my actions. I was arrested, and I was sent to prison for a year. As for Margarita, she's the only one who knows. She says if I don't continue to work for her for next to nothing, she'll tell all her friends I have a criminal record, which would essentially end my career here in Venice, just like it ended my career back in England. If that were to happen, I'd be utterly lost.
How did Margarita find out?
I have no idea. She wouldn't tell me. What's worse, not only does she keep trying to get me to use substandard materials so she can save money on the renovations I'm doing for her, but she wants me to cover it up by lying to the Restoration Council about it. And for someone in my precarious position, let's just say resisting has been very, very difficult. Enough. I insist we change the subject.
I'll let you get back to work.
What's his name?
What's whose name?
The bloke who gave you that locket you're wearing.
Oh, Ned.
Goodbye, Nancy.
Well, you certainly look better than the last time I saw you. What happened?
I made the mistake of eating the sausages that someone left for me. Apparently they were as nasty as they looked.
That's terrible. Who would have left sausages for you?
The note that was with them said they were from Colin.
Colin? You'd think someone who can see a flaw in a tiny little tile from 3 meters away would be able to pick out decent sausages.
He says it wasn't him. He says someone else wrote that note and left the sausages for me.
Why would someone do that? He probably just doesn't want to... What do they always say in the movies? Cop to it. Anyway, the good news is, whatever was in those sausages didn't do you any permanent harm. You're back to your cute, spunky teenage self.
Do you have a Carnivale costume yet?
No, but I have been invited to several parties, so I'm definitely going to get one. I've got this strange urge to dress up as a cat.
Thanks for taking the time to talk to me.
Have fun!
The handwriting on this envelope is the same as the handwriting on the note that came with the sausages, which means Colin sent them. All done. All done. Check. Did that. Check. Did that.
Avete visto in televisione quello che è successo a proposito del fantasma?
No, cosa è
No, che è
successo?
successo?
Un poliziotto l'ha visto e mentre lo stava così per catturare, il fantasma si è dileguato e è diventato acido.
Che sciolto!
Sciolto
Davvero?
come
Come
neve
neve
al
al sole.
E dove è andato?
È diventato...
Si è sciolto, non c'è più. Basta, meno male, ci siamo liberati di...
What is your name?
Samantha Quick.
You are early, but please come in. Enrico is at the scopa table.
Ah, sono Enrico Tazza. Benvenuta a Venezia.
I'm sorry, but if it's all right with you, I'd prefer to speak English.
Of course, whatever you wish. What a pleasant surprise. I wasn't expecting you until after Carnevale.
I know, but I just couldn't wait to get started.
So, you're not only young and attractive, but enthusiastic as well. Tell me more about yourself, Samantha.
I'd rather just get down to business. Because frankly, telling my life story to someone wearing a mask is just a little too freaky for me.
I understand. Besides, having never met you before, I would have no way of knowing if what you tell me is a lie or the truth. I always wear the same costume for Carnevale. Why? Because I'm a very superstitious man. I believe that always doing things a certain way brings good fortune. For instance, I never discuss business with anyone unless and until that person beats me at the game of Scopa. Are you familiar with the game?
Never heard of it.
It's a card game, very popular in Venice. We play it with the traditional Italian deck of 40 cards. There are 4 suits in a Scopa deck: coins, cups, swords, and clubs. Each suit has 10 cards. 7, the most valuable card. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and ace. There are also 3 face cards: valet, knight, king. When you are taking tricks during the game, each card is worth what it says, with a valet worth 8, a knight 9, and a king 10. However, for scoring at the end of the game, 7s are the most valuable, followed by 6s, aces, 5s, 4s, 3s, 2s, then all face cards. For scoring, these are called primes. To play the game, 3 cards are dealt to each player, then 4 cards are placed face up in the play area. If 3 kings appear, the cards are redealt. The player who did not deal the cards goes first. When it is your turn, you must play 1 card and 1 card only from your hand. Now, you have a 2, and there is a 2 in the play area. So you will play your 2 and take a trick. I discard a valet worth 8. You cannot make a match, so you discard your 3. I discard a 2. Now, because you have a knight in your hand, which is worth 9, and there is a 6 and a 3 in the play area, 6 plus 3 equals 9, which means you have a match and you take a trick. I discard my ace, and because we are both out of cards, I deal us both 3 more cards. Ah, you have a 7 in your hand. You also have an ace, which is worth 1, a 4, and a 2 in the play area, which add up to 7. But there is also a 7 in the play area. So, which do you match with your 7? The 3 cards that add up to 7, or the 7? The rules say when presented with such a choice, you must take the trick by collecting the single card. And so, you match your 7 card with the 7 card in the play area and take a trick. I make a match with the valet and take a trick. You have yet another 7 in your hand. Now you match it with the ace, the 4, and the 2 and take a trick. And since you have taken the last card in the play area, you say Scopa and get a point. We continue to play by discarding and taking tricks until all 40 cards have been played. At that point, we count the points we have won by taking tricks and getting scopas. The first person to get 11 or more points wins. If no one has 11 or more points, the deck is shuffled, the other person deals, and we play another round. Are you ready to play?
You bet. Scopa!
We've played all our cards. You took the last trick, so you get all the cards left on the table. You get 1 point for having the most coin cards. I get 1 point for having the most tricks. I get 1 point for having the 7 of coins. Now, let's add up what each card is worth and see who got the highest number of primes. I have the most valuable tricks, so I get 1 point. And lastly, we score the scopas.
Scopa!
Scopa! Scopa. I took the last trick, so I get all the cards remaining on the table. You get 1 point for having the 7 of coins. I get 1 point for having the most tricks. Now, let's add up what each card is worth and see who got the highest number of primes. I have the most valuable tricks, so I get 1 point. And lastly, we score the scopas.
Scopa!
Scopa! I took the last trick, so I get all the cards remaining on the table. You get 1 point for having the most tricks. You get 1 point for having the most coin cards. You get 1 point for having the 7 of coins.
No points for you.
Now, let's add up what each card is worth and see who got the highest number of primes. I have the most valuable tricks, so I get 1 point. And lastly, we score the scopas. Scopa! You cannot discard that card because you can take a trick with it. Those don't add up. I took the last trick, so I get all the cards remaining on the table.
No points for me.
I get 1 point for having the most tricks. I get 1 point for having the most coin cards. I get 1 point for having the 7 of coins. Now, let's add up what each card is worth and see who got the highest number of primes. I have the most valuable tricks, so I get 1 point. And lastly, we score the scopas. I have the most points, so I win. How about another game?